two stats. You guys can figure out whether or not they're correlated. 2.2% of men are over 6 feet tall and make $100,000 a year. Had 50% of women had a positive view of men. Under the age of 25, 35% of women had a positive view of men. Do you see how this could be a problem? How these things could be matching up? That maybe why they have a negative view of men.
I think we're figuring out.
For me personally, too,
small
side
things.
note, I just do. I hate the height thing because I feel like a guy can never control that.
The
You know
height,
what I mean?
the height thing's debunked. My man's 5'6", I'm 6 foot.
Well, it's not debunked. In general, women do want men over 6 feet
Well,
tall.
you know, it's
you're
funny.
right.
It's like the taller the woman is, the less I think it's like as big an issue. Because I've had girlfriends that were like 6'1", and at some point they kind of go, I'm probably not going to, unless I go to the NBA, I'm not going to find somebody who's like 6'3" or something like that.
Right.
To be taller than you.
Ladies,
there's some
No
point you kind of got to
development
go.
in
You
the
know
tall
what?
men
Maybe
for me.
here we go. Let's play a fun game here. This is only for ladies who have never been on the show before. If you've been on the show before, don't answer. The percentage of men in the United States that are over 6 feet tall, 6 feet or taller, is what?
2%.
Would you say 2%?
2.
What do you think?
8.
8%. What do you think?
15.
15. What do you think? 10.
Speaking of the mic.
Maybe like 20.
20. Huh?
I don't know, maybe like I wanted to say a number higher, but everyone's going low, so I'm like,
Don't be
I
influenced.
said 20.
Beautiful. It's
Okay, I'm gonna say 33.
cool. It's about
That's high.
It's about 17% of men.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, the first time we asked this on our first episode back in 2022, or the first time we asked it was 40%, 50%. The average man's 6'2". The problem is, like, because of whatever in Fresh and Fit, girls have wised up to like some of this demographic.
Mm-hmm.
So the next question I'm going to ask you is the percentage of American men that make over $100,000 a year is what?
Probably like 2%.
2%?
5.
5?
100,000 a year.
Mhm.
20.
20? What do you think?
Maybe like 40.
40%. What do you think,
I
Stephanie?
think like
5%.
5%. What do you think?
I'm gonna say like 20.
20? What do you think?
I think like 30%.
30%. What do you think?
12%.
12%.
25%.
What do you think?
1%.
Make $100,000 a year?
I think it's
Girl, you must be from the hood I'm from. That is crazy. That is
figures.
wild. You're from the UK also.
No, I grew up in Vegas. So
Okay.
Okay.
That is wild. It's 14%. All right. So the thing is, if I multiply 0.14 times 0.17, which is men who are over 6 feet tall and make $100,000 a year, that is 2.2% of men. Now, the thing is, when we originally started asking these questions, the numbers were outrageous. It was the average guy makes $400,000 a year and is 6'2". Those were the number. Those were the outrageous numbers they were telling us. And then over time, it started to get a little bit lower and lower because I think these demographic numbers, because they've been so viral. I have a video that's got 10 million views where we ask the girls this question, and then they are massively disillusioned. The thing I'm trying to say though is, you guys understand that if that is the case, like, there's no one for you to date. Does anyone see that, or is it just like, well, there's 2.2% of men, but I'm special and I'm going to get that man? Do you guys not see the problem here?
That's why no one's in relationships.
Okay, could that also
They
be?
are. They're just sharing that one guy.
So 2.2% of men are
Which has
6.
been done historically for a long time.
2.2% of men are 6 feet tall and make $100,000 a year, and women what is it? I'm sorry.
what percentage of them are
7
available?
70. Oh no,
Even smaller
we get into
number.
that. Yeah, it's like 0.2.
100%.
So two stats. You guys can figure out whether or not they're correlated. 2.2% of men are over 6 feet tall and make $100,000 a year. Had 50% of women had a positive view of men. Under the age of 25, 35% of women had a positive view of men. Do you see how this could be a problem? How these things could be matching up? That maybe why they have a negative view of men.
We're figuring out
might be
why the fertility rate is going down.
I think we're figuring out why the percentages are there, because the smallest percentage of men that we'd have better perspectives on don't exist.
Correct.
So we're looking at the latter.
What do you mean?
Meaning
It's being alone.
the numbers are coming from the other 98% of men. That's what that we're gauging. So when you say that there's only 2.2% men that are above 6'2", and
6 feet
100
tall. Yeah. And make 100K. Yeah.
and 100K, if that's only 2.2%, when we're doing our polls here, we're not meeting those men. So clearly this is where the polls are coming from.
But you have access to those men. You know where you have access to all of them?
Why don't you enlighten me?
On social media.
Yeah.
You have access to every single one of those men, and women often do. Do anybody see the video of Chris Brown going to an after party and there were 400 women following him from behind? And I would put any amount of money, more than half of them are in committed relationships, following him up to that thing. The level of hypergamy, we have unfettered hypergamy, and it's leading to a totally polygynous society where the average guy in the United States has maybe, well, I'll skip all the dramatics here, has about 7 sexual partners in his life, maybe 6. About a third of men go a year without sex. So we're going to take that bottom third of men, and we're going to say they have 0 or 1 sexual partners. We get to the median man, he's at about 7. Okay. And then the top 5% of men, they have 50 sexual partners, and the top 1% of men, 150 sexual partners. 0, 7, 50, 150. What is that? Does this look like a line, or does this look like a hockey stick? What does that look like to you guys? And that's how that's how sex is distributed to men. There's a few men at the top who are getting a shit ton of sex, and there's a whole bunch of men at the bottom who are getting none.
It's been that for so long, though.
It's always been correct. Throughout history, 40% of men and 80% of women have
and
reproduced.
I understand, like, I might get a lot of like hate for this, and I come from a nuclear family, and I was a wife. I was raised by a wife, so like I get tradition, but like also I'd rather like share a hot, high value man, because I feel like having it just all to myself, I'd be like stressed out. But
Okay.
girl, tag in.
Well, you and Nikki Glazier, I'll both agree.
No shit.
Yeah, I'd be like,
Yes. Thank you again for that video. Call her daddy.
it'd be too much pressure to have like a guy like focus on me the whole time. Just be like, half it up.